example of how we save money and are going to start freeze drying will be to shop markets that have special sales. This is Town Talk, and Town Talk here in Texas anyway, they sell a lot of stuff that they're like an overstock for the regular grocery stores, and they sell them at really good prices. Super cheap. We bought 16 pounds of strawberries, which are going to be freeze dried. Tomatoes. We got sweet potatoes too. Staples, you know, things that can be freeze dried and kept for a long, long time. It's part of a plan to make sure we have a long-term food supply. It's important. We got a case of eggs, which can also be freeze dried. Honey, how much were these for a case?
$2.90. Well, they're $2.99 a carton.
So the eggs were $2.99 a dozen.
$2.99.
$2.99 a dozen. And in this carton, there's, so we got 9 dozen eggs, and those can also be freeze dried, which will help for a lot of long-term food storage. So like starting for food prep and stuff like that, if you don't know like a local farmer or anything like that where you can get really good deals, these are great places to shop. The food itself is not bad or spoiled or anything like that, and I used to have that opinion of the place, but it's not. It's just overstock that is close to going to a point where it might be getting older, but they freeze it and everything is still fresh. So this is just an idea that we're going to do. And of course, a lot of this food that we purchased today is going to be processed and freeze dried this weekend. So the shelf life on something like that, anywhere from 5 years to 20 years, depending on how you store it afterwards. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Beef flank steak. That's a pretty good price. It's really
Beef
$3.99 a pound.
Beef flank, $3.99 a pound. Pork chops, $2.94 a pound. See, what I'm trying to say is that as long as you can shop some deals, you can get some good products very inexpensively that you can turn around and freeze dry and store that food instead of buying those kind of meals that you can get at like American Patriots or whatever, you know, those camping type meals that are supposed to last for 25 years. Those are expensive. And if you make up your own, that way you know what ingredients you put in it, what all is in the food. This is what this shop looks like on a normal Saturday without anything big going on, any disasters that anyone knows of looming. Can you imagine what this place would be like if the you-know-what was really hitting the fan? Part of the process with the freeze dryer is eggs. I just showed you earlier that we bought, how many dozens of eggs did we buy?
We bought 9 Jerry's organic free-range eggs at Talktown or Town Talk because they were $2.99 a dozen.
So the next step with that is to blend them up. Let me show you. Just like that. And so now it's going to, now that they're blended, we're going to go put them in one of the Harvest Right trays. Excuse the mess, guys. We just had foundation work done. So everything is torn up. There's one of the trays right there, and my beautiful wife Patty is pouring them in now.
We're not pre-freezing these because it would save a lot of time if we did, but because these are so liquidy, I don't want to take a chance of getting eggs all in my freezer by them getting tumped over or what have you. So it'll take a little bit longer to do it this way, but it'll still be just as good. And I'm just pushing that in slowly because I don't want to spill it.
You guys missed that part, but she said we have 2 more trays to go, and then we'll turn the Harvest Right freeze dryer on. I don't know if that makes out on the screen or not, but let me show you. It holds 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and so far we have 3 of them completely full. We're going to fill another 2, and then begin the freeze drying process. And the good news is these eggs will last forever, and once they're freeze dried, they're going to reconstitute and be perfect. You can take them camping, you can use them for survival food. Possibilities are endless. You can use them in your cooking, what have you. And again, guys, the process we're using is we went and we purchased the eggs, and what we're doing is just basically she's going ahead and cracking them into a blender. We blend them up so that they're all mixed together really good, scramble them eggs up, and then go ahead and freeze dry in the trays. When they're done and everything, I'll show you guys the finished product. And Patty, what can these be used for, these freeze-dried eggs? How long will they last?
Definitely. If you put oxygen absorbers in so they don't get rehydrated. But they're good for, I mean, you can reconstitute them and make scrambled eggs out of them if you want just to eat them, like for breakfast. But you can also use them for baking. So it's 2 tablespoons of egg mixture to 2 tablespoons of water, and that equals an egg when you want to go back to refiguring how much you need for a recipe or whatever you're making out of the eggs. So 2 tablespoons of the powder once it's dried, and 2 tablespoons of water that's going to reconstitute your eggs if you need them reconstituted. Or you could just put the powder in your recipe and then just put enough water in the recipe for 2 tablespoons so that your eggs will have the moisture that they need to reconstitute. Hydrate, whatever you want to call it.
So see guys, there's a lot of applications for this process. Now the freeze dryer itself is from Harvest Right, and it is an investment, but we plan on getting a good return on that investment by creating our own, you might want to call it survival food, but just freeze-dried food. You can freeze-dry anything from spaghetti. If you guys have leftovers, like you've made a huge pot roast and potatoes, things like that, all of these things can be freeze-dried, and the shelf life, once they're freeze-dried, lasts for years and years and years. And to reconstitute and eat a meal, they're just like those Mountain House. You just go ahead and add the proper amount of water, or the amount of water you like, steaming hot water, let it reconstitute and cook, and you're ready to go. You have a freeze-dried meal ready to go for you and your family. And also the good thing is that you know exactly what went into it. It's not like buying the Mountain House and things like that, which we bought and we tried a couple of those. Some of them aren't too bad, some we haven't tried yet. But the thing is that we do not know what all chemicals and what all additives or what the quality of the food is that they put into it. With us doing it ourselves, we control that. So we control the quality of the food, and we control the quality of the meal. And the shelf life's incredible. And you do not have to take up your refrigerator, your freezer, with all this extra food that may freezer burn and go to waste. So if something does happen bad, or even if nothing bad happens at all, and you just decide you want to go camping or what have you, it's food security, like Patty just said. It's food security that you can store on a shelf indefinitely. So for what did we pay for the freeze dryer? We paid $2,000.
We paid $26.95.
We paid
on sale.
We paid $26.95, $2,695 for the freeze dryer.
Can I turn this on?
And we will be set with well over that in food soon, in freeze-dried food soon. We're going to show you guys how the eggs turned out, but next up, fresh strawberries, freeze dried. This is a part of our purchase that I filmed the other day at the grocery store. We're going to make us some freeze dried strawberries next.
I think I'm just going to mix it all up. Almost dumped that all over the place. Sausage and brisket. Get some of that fat off of there.
Alright guys, so the finished product and I wanted to show you what we've been developing for food storage with using our Harvest Right freeze dryer. Not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but this is the freeze dryer that preserves the food. We have quite a selection already started, and I apologize for the lighting. Let me turn another light on in here. Maybe I can get it a little bit better. Oh, that's a little brighter anyway. We also went and purchased these shelves, and this is our food storage so far. We have everything freeze-dried in here that we're developing to work on as far as food, that all we have to do is rehydrate it. There's just some beans and rice, goes all the way back. These are the freeze-dried strawberries, which are really good, by the way. Here's how the eggs turned out, powdered form. So it's kind of up to you. You can powder them up, especially eggs or strawberries or anything like that, by blending them once they're freeze-dried and turn them into a powder. Or you can leave them in chunks. It just kind of depends on how you want to store it. The eggs, we decided to do that, but I mean, we even did roast and carrots and potatoes. This is roast carrots and potatoes. And all you really have to do is add hot water to them and reconstitute them, and you've got a meal just like that. So guys, when the you know what hits the fan, it's just another way of some preparedness. By no way, shape, or form are we 100% prepared, but you see this room, and I'm in the process of moving out the rest of this furniture, and we're in the process of buying more shelving units. We started on toilet paper. This is extra toilet paper and paper towels. We have some equipment down there, blender, ice making machine, things along those lines. Electric canner, things along those lines. But this entire room actually is going to, all this furniture and stuff that you see back here is going to be going out of the house. And we're going to turn this room into nothing but shelves for storage. You can see down here, we started with the water. That's only 5 gallons. That's not enough. We did try some Mountain House, but this stuff was really expensive. It wasn't too bad, but this is our packages of freeze-dried food over here. We've got ham, potatoes, enchiladas, candy. You can freeze-dry candy, ham, all different types of meals here. And this is just the start. So yes, the expense as far as buying a freeze dryer and stuff like that can you know, the out of pocket. I think it was like $2,500 for the freeze dryer itself on sale. But if you consider the amount of food that you can store and be ready for when something bad happens, it's worth it. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it took me as long to get it out. I know I promised I would. There's a lot more to come. Thanks for watching Not Timmy 66. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed for more content like this and more speculation on what's big is coming and just all things, I guess, conspiracy related. Everybody take care. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.